Welcome. Okay, this time of year, we set a lot of goals, intentions, resolutions, whatever it is, and so many of those are about moving our body more and pushing forward. And I fully support a lot of that. However, I also feel like for our culture, for our society, at times it can be much easier to keep pushing through than to relax back, than to soften our system, than to slow down, to be in that stillness and in that awareness. And for that reason, I'm gonna give you 30 deep breaths with a hold here, but we're gonna move nice and slowly. Now, if you've watched other videos of mine, sometimes I'm just really bubbling over and it's kind of spilling out of me. But even this, I want to intentionally slow my voice down. And even when I start to do that, I can feel my system starting to calm. Now, we are gonna take 30 deep breaths with a hold. The breaths can be at your very own pace, and you can choose if you want to inhale nostrils, exhale mouth, or inhale mouth, exhale mouth. I am going to model the breath with an inhale through the mouth and an exhale through the mouth. This is where I'm really loving that style of breathing for quite some time now, but this is still good. Okay, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna get into a comfortable position. I'm actually gonna take my shoes off here because I feel like I will end up probably moving around a little bit, and I find that if I'm in a tucked toe position and then I want to move to pointed toe, it's much nicer for my feet to be here or here like that. Okay, so you can choose. If you feel better, maybe you feel better here, but I've got pretty menopausal knees. This isn't feeling as bad as it has, but get yourself in a position. Maybe you want something under your bum. Maybe you want to be on your shins with a cushion under your bum so you can slide one underneath. If you go and grab a cushion, if you feel like that's what you need, make it work for you. If you make yourself comfortable, if you get yourself in a position that feels good, you are going to be so much more focused on the breath and on staying present with that breath, okay? So with your spine, as you inhale, you can open, and as you exhale, you can close, okay? So we're not going to rush these breaths. In some of the other practices, if you're in the subscription or if you come to stuff at the studio, we sometimes get like really pumping the breath really powerfully, but we're going to try to go nice and slow. Now, I will count you through. I'll let you know when we're at 10, when we're at 20, and when we're at 30. Then when we go at 31, it'll be big breath in through pursed lips as though you are sucking through a straw. With that being said, if I call 30 and I say big breath in, and you feel like you need a couple extra breaths, please take a couple extra breaths. Sometimes if I feel like I need to swallow between the breath, I'm gonna get a better inhalation. If I feel like I'm kind of in that space where I'm like, kind of feel like I need to swallow and I'm not ready to take that inhalation for the hold, give yourself a breath or two more, especially because this is a recording. You never have to keep up either. Let's just be clear with ourselves that there's no rules about that we can show up however it works for us at any given time and make it work in that way. Okay, so if you find yourself at that 31st breath and you think, you know what, I want a couple extra breaths, take a couple extra breaths. When I say to let go, you can keep holding. If you can keep holding, make it your own, okay? So remember, nice, big, slow, deep breaths for 30. Big breath in and take your hold, okay? Now, we're gonna start the breathing nice and slow. gently coming back to natural breathing. But you can still sigh it out a little bit more. You can elongate the inhalation and the exhalation, but gently coming back to your breath. If you would like, gently bringing yourself out of that position to bring your legs forward. Maybe you need to move the knees around a little bit. If you can keep your eyes closed, keep your eyes closed, but just stay for a moment. Maybe shake the legs out a little bit, massaging through the calves, letting the thighs and the hamstrings flop around, rolling the ankles. And then when you're ready, you can flutter your eyes open. I'm just gonna come into tribal position here, allowing now, if you feel like you need that, if you need a cushion under your bum or maybe a blocker or roller, you can take that now. But let's flutter our eyes back closed and get comfortable here for a few deep breaths. Nowhere else to be, just here, staying in this altered, gentle, powerful, yet activated state. So any movements you would like to make here, maybe you feel quite good in tribal, you can move around a little bit, just exploring with your positioning here. If you would like, you can come onto all fours and maybe wag the tail a little bit, rolling the spine out, but moving with intention, with softness, with love. After we come out of something like that, just feeling around for what your body needs. And then you can send your hips back onto your heels, lower onto the elbows, let the head hang heavy. And if you feel comfortable, you can either point the toes or keep them flexed. Work the arms forward to extended child, bring the forehead down to the mat. If you want to point the toes, if you haven't done that yet, make the position your own. Take a couple deep breaths here. Staying in this softened position, allowing the forehead to rest heavy on the mat, allowing the brow to unfurrow, unclench the jaw. A couple deep breaths here in surrender. And when you're ready, glide yourself up. Any final movements that you want to make. But just know that you are only a breath away. You can change how your body's functioning with one breath. You can disrupt a pattern of your mind, a pattern of your body with one breath, and then another breath. So one breath is the opportunity to change it. And then when we step into something like 30 breaths, then we're really bringing our presence to our breath. So please try it out. Let me know what you think. And anytime you need to come back to this practice, come back to this practice. It'll help regulate you. If you feel like a little bit stressed in the middle of the day, you can fast forward through the first bit, you can fast forward through this end bit and just use the practice. Whatever works for you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for being here.